Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today is Monday. Yes, it's Monday. So, as always, it is a DCEU film. This one I haven't been looking forward to, and I think for good reason, because I didn't particularly enjoy it. There were some moments I liked, some moments I didn't like. I'm excited to talk about it regardless. But today we're going to be talking about Aquaman. Aquaman was released in 2018. It was written by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick and Will Beall, and directed by James Wan. So I don't know if that's one name, but I looked at it and I guess it's one name. That's insane. But whatever. James Wan is interesting. I didn't realize it was directed by James Wan until the end, which makes sense because it had Patrick Wilson in it, and James Wan likes Patrick Wilson a lot. For those of you who don't know who he is, he directs like every horror film ever. That's not really true, but it feels true. He's done like the Conjuring movies, that whole universe basically. I like his directing for horror movies. I did not particularly care for it here. Let's go ahead and talk about Aquaman itself. So this movie follows Justice League, and it basically follows Aquaman and where he is, and it follows him after Justice League. So it takes place after Justice League, and basically we follow him through. We meet his father and his mother, who is just like killed by these people, the king basically, because the king was jealous. And there's a lot of things going on basically, but there's a war going on between basically the people in the water, the people on Earth. The people in the water are fighting, and they want to take care of that and then destroy the world for no reason really, except that the garbage is in the oceans, which is fine. I think it's a cool idea that we bring in pollution and water pollution and stuff like that. I think it's a cool idea. I liked it. I don't think it was mentioned enough to matter. You know? Like, we get to this point in the film where they're like, oh, we're fighting because there's garbage in the ocean. It's like, yeah. But, like, what else? It's like I'm sure if we just, like, talked to him, might have been a problem. But, like, no, we're just going to kill everybody. Really, really interesting take on what to do with that. I would not have done that. But we essentially find him in Aquaman, and he meets Mera, who is this swimming goddess person. She's really like a princess. And what happens is they have to go find this golden trident, which has been used by the original king of Atlantis. So he has to go find that. And he does, and he comes back and he basically kills everyone really quick, and that's the end of the whole movie. First of all, the directing, I think, and this movie is really interesting. I think the writing is actually pretty good. I think for the most part, the writing is good. I like the jokes. The jokes were placed in good moments. They were predictable, but they were funny. I think it was in general a pretty solid, like, good writing. The only thing I didn't really like about the writing in particular was the fact that the war didn't really make much sense, but it is a superhero movie, and typically, especially in DC, they don't have very good writing, and this was no exception. Directing was interesting because we had some really cool, like, transitions. Like, he was really good at transitions in this movie. There were some really sick transitions. But other than that, it felt very lackluster. There was a lot of movement for the sake of movement that I didn't really like in terms of camera movement. But there was some really cool, like, circular transitions he does where, like, we pass by a person and another person who's a different person. It's complicated, but really cool. I did really enjoy the transitions in this film in general. I think that might be the best part of the film was just these really cool, like, swivel transitions we have. I don't really understand how they did it. I mean, I do, but I don't. They must have taken so much time. It was really, really cool. I really liked it. I also, in the movie, I really enjoyed getting to know teenage Aquaman. I kind of want more teenage Aquaman. Adult Aquaman is too strict and annoying on my soul. But I did like teenage Aquaman quite a bit. And I hope we can see more of him in the future. I think that the war in the end was kind of dumb. It didn't catch my attention almost at all. It was like, oh, there's a war and it's gone. It was like, he comes in with this giant trident that's like golden, and he's wearing this golden fish armor, and he's like, arr, 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 and that's like the end of the whole movie. And it was like, okay, but why? Why? I did like the parents in the film. I think it was fun to watch the parents and the whole story. I hope we get more of them in the future. I liked that they got together in the end. Although in the second movie they probably move on, be like, oh yeah, they're living happily ever after. I'm like, but I want more of them, not more of this. We'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and talk about the acting. First, Jason Momoa as Arthur or Aquaman. He's fine. I don't think he's particularly fantastic. I don't hate him, but I don't think he's great. He's funny, but not in like the funny way that you would expect a funny superhero to be, which I don't actually like. I kind of like the traditional, like, he's funny in battle, but like normally not very funny. It's complicated. And in terms of a superhero, I didn't think of him much of a superhero, more as like just an annoying guy. And people are like, you have to be our king. You have to be our king. You're the only one that can do it. And it's like, this guy's no king. He's no king. And then he becomes the king, and he's like completely badass all of a sudden. And it's like, he was super like dumb. Aquaman's powers. Can we talk about that for a second? What are his powers exactly? Can someone tell me? Someone please tell me what can he not do? He jumps out of a plane and he lands in the desert from like thousands of feet in the air. And he's fine. He's fine. What? No. And then he can't be cut by blades that aren't Atlantean steel, which is fine, but they should have explained that in the beginning of the movie, right? And then also, like, how does that work in terms of, like, where do we go from there, right? He gets, like, literally blasted by this thing and he's totally fine. And, like, what can he be affected by? There was never a time where I was like, he's not going to live, he's going to die. No, the whole movie I'm like, he's totally going to win, this is going to be totally fine. We need more stakes in these movies. Damn it. Overall, I think that Jason Momoa was fine. I don't think he was fantastic. And I didn't hate Aquaman as a whole. I hope he gets better in the Snyder Cut, which comes out on the 18th, by the way. So make sure you guys are looking forward to that on HBO Max. I apologize if you hear a crazy dog. That's because we keep her locked up in a room, so she can't like leave and do stuff. So I apologize if you hear her like dying inside. Amber Heard as Mera. So Mera is interesting. So first of all, I don't want to talk about Amber Heard and the whole Johnny Depp thing. If you want a video on my thoughts on that, I'll give it to you. But in long story short, I'm on Johnny Depp's side. But Mera is interesting because she's like a princess, I guess, of Atlantis, I guess. It's weird. We don't really get a full explanation of who she is. She kind of shows up. She's like, hello. Then she saves Aquaman's father, and then all is good. And then they're like best friends. And then they kind of start being romantically inclined. And I'm like, I don't really want that, to be honest with you. I don't think that Amber Heard was fantastic. I think she was fine for the part. I feel like most people could have played Mera. I don't think she was, stellar, but I don't think she was bad either. I think she was, she was just Mera. Willem Dafoe as Volkov. I think it's kind of a waste of Willem Dafoe. And in the way that, like, he didn't really have a lot to do. Right? I mean, he's like the trainer for Aquaman, but like we didn't get to see a lot of it. And I think that the training parts of Willem Dafoe were really strong, but then the later parts weren't very strong with Willem Dafoe. I think Willem Dafoe is really good at playing villains and not really particularly great at playing heroes. I think it was fine, but I think other people could have done it way better, which is kind of unfortunate, and it is definitely a negative. I think that having Willem Dafoe in this part wasn't good. I think maybe switching Willem Dafoe and Patrick Wilson, in terms of switching the roles, might have actually helped the movie a lot. Patrick Wilson as King Orm. Patrick Wilson plays King Orm, who basically is like, I'm going to take over the thing and become Ocean Master. And that's what he does. And then Aquaman comes in and he's like, no, and then he kills him and that's it. Patrick Wilson was really awkward in this role. I did not like him at all. I think every time he was on screen, I was like, ew, what's going on there? I don't really like that. It was really awkward and really weird, and I did not like watching him on screen in this, which is unfortunate because I like him in most of the movies that he's in. I do think that switching Patrick Wilson and Willem Dafoe might have actually done really good in this film, but they did not do that, which is quite unfortunate. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Manta. First note, he was in Watchmen, which I reviewed relatively recently, and he played Dr. Manhattan. He was really, really good in that. In this, not so much. I think he was fine. He was definitely a side character, but he's supposed to be a bad guy. Basically, Aquaman killed his father, which I think was dumb in the first place. He should have killed both of them. But whatever. He is a dumb villain. I did not like him. He was there for like 2 scenes. Like, we don't need many villains in this movie, damn it. We just need one. We just need Ocean Master. We could focus more if we didn't have these like 3 random scenes with Manta here. I did not like Black Manta here. Maybe we'll see him again in the future, and maybe that'll make more sense. But as of right now, did not enjoy him in this movie at all. Sorry, I had to go yell at the dog. But I'm going to go ahead and give this movie today a B-, because it's not particularly great. It's not awful. It's not bad. It's not good. I'm probably never going to watch it again, but I am excited to watch the Snyder Cut, and hopefully that'll make Aquaman look a little better. But that's going to do it for me today. Looking forward to the week. We have Shutter Island, Thor Ragnarok, Despicable Me 3, and Uncle Drew. On Friday, I am expecting to be able to watch Cherry finally. I'm very excited to review that one. And there might be a couple other releases. I'll take a look today and see what's coming out on Friday and see what we'll do. But for me, I think it's all that's going to happen for me today. And as always, keep watching movies and television. Stay educated. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.